Hello, and welcome to the War in the Pacific, where it is the 1st of March, 1942, in the Wirraway versus Encircled play-by-mail campaign. Other than the reinforcing of troops in India for our advance there, and completing final preparations for attacks in northern and southern China, the primary area of interest today is whether or not he tries to counterattack Clark again against the tired and severely weakened 8th Division. Moonlit strike on Pago Pago. Nels hit Clark Field at night, damaging a P-40B, but losing one of their own aircraft. You may recall US rules require illumination from the moon to be at 90% or greater to conduct night air attacks. This one was relatively more successful, or so it appears. Maybe APD in the waters off Pago Pago. Sweeps and long range cap. Find no enemy fighters above Clark, though we know his P-40s are there. Ah. So here, so because it was over his heads, yeah, his P-40s were attempting to attack 8th Division at low level. So I had Oscars on long range cap, and they tangled with the P-40s who tried to get in to attack our troops. Sun isn't lilies. Sally's supporting the operations against Kunchang. Sally's still going after to the Chinese in Burma. Trying to make sure Balikpapan airfield is closed. Again, Warhawks in a ground attack mode. Angle with my long range cap. Okay. Afternoon phase. Hurricanes sweeping above my troops on trains. Mitch bombers at 100 feet. Hit a cruiser mine layer. The Marauders go after my troops in rail cars. Don't do much. Marauders in the South Pacific. Okay. Let's see how ground combat goes. Marine paratroopers. Looks like he may be reinforcing Manila, which is interesting. Okay. Ready for the attack. First attack on Narumchi. Okay, so here comes a deliberate attack. Let's see what he's got. '41st Infantry Division still pretty combat effective. 21st and the 4th Marines. And one of his 2 tank battalions. Okay, so this wasn't so favorable for him. But still, look at the dramatic difference in its ablements. That was a small 4-gun artillery unit. So he's still getting very, he's getting a bonus. Why is he getting an experience bonus? Odd. Anyway, his adjusted combat power is more normal. Well, mine is oddly low for, again, 3 times terrain and a veteran division. Another 24 hours done. So the Marine Corps paratroopers in India, company-sized unit, is gone. Of course, the Marines, like cold, have excellent recruiting, uh, modeled in the game by high replacement rate. So let's speed through the end of the turn. Just check in air-to-air losses. I lost Oscars to Warhawk. That's okay. Let's just take a look. Let's see what it looked like in terms of 3 KIA, 2 MIA. So 24 Sentai came out a bit on the short end of that, because my suspicion is the Allied losses, though similar in plane numbers, are probably half the number of pilots and less experienced pilots to boot. Okay, so we won the race into Luchao, which is good. I think we are ready for, let's rebuild these divisions. And we are ready for the attack at Kunchang. That's good. You can see now the 11th Division is closing in on Clark. Won't get there next turn, but if the 8th can hold out that one more turn, they will be there. And the 8th is in really rough shape. And again, I'm surprised it's struggled so mightily. Let's just check in and see. Enforcements heading, these are primarily support, heading to India. I'm going to try to move ahead with a landing on Jaffna, even without my carriers. Cardiff 5 is rebuilding its air groups. Well, it's Kate's, which, where is she? Where are they? So we're trying to rebuild Zuho's air groups, also uh, refill Zuho's air groups. So Zui Taku's air group Kates are at about half strength, fighters at half strength, and we'll fly them. I'm sorry, fighters at full strength. We'll fly all those air groups on board the carriers as we move into the Bay of Bengal. So they'll be short torpedo striking power, uh, but they will have, in terms of torpedo bombers, but they will have plenty of fighters on board between the two heavy carriers and the two light carriers and the one single escort carrier. So a bit of a tricky operation. Our amphibious task force for our next move in the South Pacific against Veveo is just about to Suva. And as soon as our surface task forces are in position, we'll go ahead and make that move. Okay, so need to hold 8th Division needs to hold out one more turn, and other than that, we've got a tricky operation, the Bay of Bengal. It will be tricky. We've got our submarines into position. If the Allied carriers or some of the Allied carriers are here, which I suspect they are, we've got to get in and get out quickly. So we're not really Cardiff 5 and the two light carriers, particularly with the depleted Kate squadrons, we aren't in a position to win a battle against more than uh, two Allied carriers. So if there's a British carrier and an American carrier there, that's still workable. But if there's more than that in terms of the U.S. carriers, it could end up suffering a pretty significant defeat. We are just about ready, though, to begin our drive on Nagpur, and the noose is tightening around Lasho. We'll mop up central Burma and try to flip Magway without having to fight for it. Like to get that oil intact. All good. And I look forward to our next chance to talk.